Alright, we're going to go ahead and do a complete install build of a desktop PC. What I purchased was a basic CX600 Corsair power supply. And then I have an Asus motherboard, P8Z77. It is Windows 8 ready, Intel chipset with the Z77, HDMI, and onboard video card with 3.0 USB and 2.0 USBs. Everything is SATA drive plugs, and so here's the motherboard. It's still in the package until I'm ready to mess with it. The actual power supply with the main two power cords coming out, and then the choice of choosing which peripherals you'll actually plug in so that you don't have as many cords contained inside your box. And then a 500 gig hard drive from Western Digital with 64 megabyte cache, Intel Core i3-3220 processor, some extra cables for the SATA connection for the hard drive and the CD drive. I got two 4 gig sticks of Ripjaws memory, so a total of 8 gigs, and then just a very basic Asus DVD CD drive. And then the board, or the box, is just a reuse of an old one, and it does have the front audio inputs and outputs for headphones and microphone. It also has a USB and memory stick drive that we will go ahead and install back onto the motherboard. So I believe that's all, and of course I'll get to it in a little bit, but also got some Arctic Silver 5 for when I put the processor together on the motherboard. It's always needed to help disperse the heat from the processor. So I am going to go ahead and set this up on the tripod and get to work. First thing I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and, before I forget, pop in the faceplate for the motherboard for the back of the PC. And at times I will be referring to the owner's manual for the motherboard. Verify that I am indeed putting the correct things in the correct spots. Last thing you want to do is plug in something to the wrong spot. So we got the fan for the processor with the heat shield and everything, and it comes with its power cord and all that. And then the processor here. Has its own little case. Alright. As with any electronical board, you always try and handle it by the edges. And when you're messing with something this big, you don't want to just set it down on the cloth or whatever. You go ahead and set it on the bag that it came in. This they actually did pretty neat. It's actually got a cover over the location for the processor itself so that you can go ahead and install it at this time, and then when you're ready to go ahead and install the fan, you pop off the cover and continue the installation of the processor fan. So they sort of make this dummy proof. It has 2 notches in the side of the processor where it can only fit in there one way. So now it's protected while you do whatever else you need to do, which really I don't think there's too much extra we have to do before we put that on. But like I said, I'm going to come back to the manual. Alright. So it actually says that we should go ahead and do it now. So we'll go ahead and undo the power cord here. It doesn't want to let go. And find where your fan plug-in shall be, which is right here. Almost could have left that sitting in there, but we won't worry about it. Of course, with any of these, you're going to want to make sure that the power wire stays clear of the fan blades. So we'll go ahead and remove the cover. And here's the Arctic Silver 5 compound to help with the heat. I'm pretty sure that they recommend a good thorough layer of this because your CPU does create a lot of heat, hence why they also give you a fan. Very sticky stuff. Actually, it looks like they've already got some on the fan, which I will verify with this manual. I can't read Japanese, gotta find the English. They've got pictures, but no definitions with it. How lovely. Then it just goes into the warranty information. So just to be safe, I'll go ahead and put it on the fan also. Can never be overdone. So now I'm just going to see how I want this to set. For the plug-in. Alright. So it's going to click into place, and then these have some nice little retainer turn knobs to verify that it stays in place. And then verify on the back. Need to redo these front two. There we go. Of course, wants to be a putt. Pop the other one out. I think this is going to be a butt no matter what. So that's all situated. Connect the power for the CPU fan. Next thing, we'll go ahead and install the RAM. And for the way I'm doing it, with only having 2 sticks of 8 gig memory, they recommend 1 in each of the light blue ports here. Verify that you're going to put it in correctly. There's only one way that they can go in. You push down and it locks itself into place. And before I purchased all the components for this, I verified through Ripjaw's or G.Skill's Ripjaw's website that it was compatible with this specific motherboard. You always want to do that to make sure that it's going to work properly and be compatible with each other. And surprisingly, even in the manual for the motherboard, it has the list of all the memory sizes that are compatible with it. And this is compatible, this motherboard, up to 32 gigs of RAM. And I am not putting a video card in this because of the processor and motherboard have the capability of having its own video, and for what this computer is going to be used for at this time does not need the additional video drive. So it looks like we are ready to go ahead and move on to installing it into the box, the case. What I'm going to do is we need to install the power supply first, or else you won't be able to get your motherboard in there, or won't get your power supply in there after the motherboard. I think I might have it right in the first time. I did. The holes will line up on the case, and I was looking for the screws that I pulled out of the old case, but I forgot I was going to go ahead and use the screws that came with this power supply. just a little information on the computer that I'm upgrading. This thing's 10 years or more, close to 10 years, still running Windows XP. Its RAM that it had was 156, 512, and it had a 160 gig hard drive, I believe it was. The computer would take almost 20 minutes to come out of sleep. So needless to say, after we get this all built, we should not have those issues anymore. So the power supply is in. It looks like there's a little sticker over the name of the Crosshair in the center of it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And then I will come back in step 2.